Okay guys, I'm going to show you guys something special that should allow you to improve your first 3 steps. So if you know anything about the 100 meters, specifically the 100 meters, the goal is to get to this line or the equivalent of it, which is 10 meters. So from the start line to the next one, 10 meters in about 7 steps. And if it's taking you 8 or 9 or 10 or however many, that is a lot of space that could be freed up by just fixing it, which you can do with something as simple as tape, because you want to be powerful and push through the start, and taking tiny steps through the start, especially for the first 3 steps, slows you down. And in this video, I'm going to teach you guys how to fix that. Okay, here we have an athlete who is going to sprint to 3 steps. Goes 1 step behind. Yeah. Actually, go down into a block start, 4 point. I want you to do 3 to 5 steps, all out, the best you can do, yeah? Set, go. Right here is where she stopped. We put some tape here. Okay, now it's time for the trick. Okay, go to the line and stand in front of it. In front of it. Right there. Yep. Take 2 more steps. No, go back. 2 steps, baby steps. Right in front. 1, 2, 3. Okay, do the same thing in front of that. Take 4 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. Back. Go again. Do 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Is it? Based off of this, if you can see it properly anyway, you'll notice something interesting, which is the first step right here, nothing special. Second step's right here, but the third step is all the way over here, whilst her third step before was over here. A gap this big is a massive difference in power. Okay, now, I want you to do the same thing, but instead of just sprinting the way you were, I want you to make sure your first step lands here, your second step lands here, and your third step lands here. Considering, I don't want you to try and go all out, all speed. Just try and go as fast as you need, or slow as you need to hit these markers. Stay there. Before we get into a 4 point, I'm going to try and teach you how to do it in a 2. Yeah? So from there in a 2 point, just try and stand on these. Go. Try and put more intent behind it this time. Step behind the line. She missed this one, but she got the other 2. You got these 2, but you missed this first one. That means you're not fully extending your leg. So you need to properly extend your leg. Pretty much just raise the leg up higher so you can extend better. Try again. Something you're going to notice is doing this for a 2 point is much easier than it is doing it for a 4 point. Try for 4. Set. Go. Already better. So you didn't get the first step, but that's easily fixable. How did that feel? It does feel weird because you have to extend more. But you missed the first step, but you got the other 2. Yeah. Compare that to the one you was doing before, where you only managed to get to this line. You're now that much faster, just like that. This time, do it again and try and get to this one. I think you got to there before. So if you can get to here, you're pretty much perfect. All we need to work on now is you being more powerful so you can get down quicker and start to actually travel down much faster. Set, go. All of them were hit. How did that run feel?
Felt a bit off. I feel like my first step could have been slightly better.
What do you think the issue was?
I feel like I'm not driving as good.
Well, the fact that you're able to hit every single one of these for that one means you are driving. The difference between how you were before we started this video and now is you're no longer rushing your steps. You're taking longer steps and you're getting to these markers. Now, you just need to get more experience behind all of this, spend more time doing this, so that when you go and train and compete, you can do this much faster and you do this subconsciously. So we'll try 2 more. First one, I just want you to do it again, same way. Just try and hit these, but see if you can get down quicker. Still hit them all. This time, I want you to come right here, so just the first 3 steps. And I want you to maintain the stride length you had when you're there and try and open it up more. And focus on pushing. Don't rush it, just push. And try and get as powerful as you can to try and set yourself up for later down the race. Make sure you get your full body through a full range of motion. Set. Go. And already she's looking much better. Her drive can use a bit of fixing. Same with some parts at the start, but overall there's much better push, much better angle of direction, and all we did was lay out 3 tapes. It's just about the visual markers. If you have a goal to aim for, you're able to take much bigger steps and you're able to hit what you're supposed to be, what your coach wants you to do, because you have something to aim for. Just like how if you want to be able to do a 2-meter broad jump, if you can't do one, then knowing where the 2 meter is a great place to start, because you have something to try and chase. With this, the same thing. I feel like if I was to shuffle out the second and third steps out by one, she'd be able to do that. But I don't need her to, because these were the steps that I needed her to do. Now all that's really left to change is try and see if we can teach her how to do it faster and teach her how to do it while staying down lower. And if she could figure that out, she would get much faster than she already has in about 5 minutes. Okay, I want you to take 5 steps this time, but I want you to focus really hard on trying to stay low, but not stay low with your upper body, but with your legs. I want you to be in a position where when you're in the set, your front knee drops down really low so you can drive instead of letting it just come up, sort of. Another thing is, when you're doing these, I want you to be in a position where your leg is up and in front so you can drive back behind it. Do you get that?
Yeah, the question's going to do it.
Questions. We can start one by one. So we'll start off first off with trying to get your leg up in front of it. So you're coming through, the leg comes up, and then you drive back to hit it. What I'm essentially trying to tell you to do is I want you to pretty much take a step this big where my foot is, but reposition it so it lands there. Do you got that? Mm-hmm. Okay, try. Do it from a 2-point. I want you to pull the leg up with the hips so you're in this angle, then drive back from there. Try again. I need you to bring the leg from being in this position to being in that position. So when you bring it back, the shin angle's low, so you have power and you don't waste what you just did on the previous step. Because you can get through this faster, but your mechanics aren't letting you. This will take a while to get the athlete to understand, specifically you, to understand that's this part, but I still feel like it's necessary to tell you what to do, so if you make progress in this instantaneously or quite quickly, you know what to do. You didn't do it properly, but that's just based off of how your body moves. That's going to take some time to fix. Next, we're going to try and see if we can get you to stay lower at the start. We want you to rise slowly like an airplane and go through later on into transition. Stay in a 2-point, and I want you, when you're in set, to let your knee to drop down lower and try and hold the position your knee gets into. Your set position and your on your marks position are the same until you decide to move. You're like this the entire time, which is comfortable. You should not feel comfortable in set. It doesn't matter if it's a 2-point, 3-point, or a 4-point. Set should feel like you can hold it for a bit, but if you stay for too long, you're going to fall over or something. Your shin determines the angle you're going to move in. When you decide to push off, your shin moves forwards, but it moves forwards only by about this much. I need you to be like this on your marks, but when set starts, you roll forwards and you drop the knee, and your whole body positioning drops, and your glutes kind of stick out, but you lean forwards, and then you drop. Your knee should not be vertical, it should be an angle. Now, for you, the first step was much better. You pushed out well, but you still kind of went straight down on all of the steps from there. If you could fix that, there'd be better power output from you. You feel even more powerful. I'm not going to try and get her to do all of that because that's not something you can fix in one day. But the fact that we already got her stride to go from this in 3 steps to not even that, now she was landing about there, is a big jump. I'm sure if I measure this out, it's a big difference from what it was over here. And if you do this as well, you can fix your gait and your stride in about 5 minutes.